Get ready for a fermented drink made from millet.
What?
Turkey's famous coffee culture.
Okay.
And serious culinary influences in the city of Istanbul.
The lemon juice and garlic hit.
Spanning 3 vast empires, Istanbul is the product of a diverse cultural history. Today, I'm here to taste its food, all with one mission. It's got to be traditionally plant-based. From the famous Meyhane dishes to entire shops devoted to the art of lacto-fermenting pickles. This city is more vegan-friendly than you might actually think. Let's find out what that's all about.
I'm back in Istanbul for a second spin. I was here for my last episode to taste incredible street food and some traditional Turkish dishes. But today we're kicking things off with a very special drink that I heard has an acquired taste. Boza.
This is not just an ordinary drink. Boza has been around for more than 8,000 years and is one of the most historic drinks still enjoyed today. Here in Istanbul, there's one address where locals flock to for their dose of this ancient drink. Vefa Bozacısı, a historic institution that first opened its doors in 1876. Boza is made from a mixture of cooked millet, sugar and yeast that is left to ferment over several days. The result is a thick drink that is served with a dash of cinnamon.
He just poured our Boza, but before we actually drink it, I heard about a secret to drink it the right way. And for that we have to head across the street. Let's do that first.
This small convenience shop is an integral part to an authentic Boza experience. Here, pre-boiled chickpeas are slowly roasted until charred and then sold by the pack.
We've got our roasted chickpeas, they're still warm. Let's try the Boza. Okay, we've got our Boza, and then I'm gonna add a good handful of roasted chickpeas straight on top. There we go. You mix in all of that cinnamon in the chickpeas, and then we're gonna get a good spoon. Let's try Boza for the first time. What? Wow, okay, completely different than expected. I love it. It's a fermented drink, and I expected it to taste fermented, but it's actually really nice and sweet together with the cinnamon. And the fermentation only adds a nice fruity and tanginess, but makes it really fresh. And then those roasted chickpeas, they are essential. You get that sort of popcorn chickpea flavor. Wow, absolutely love it. That is so special. I might have another one after this one. You cannot travel to Istanbul without visiting one of its traditional taverns. These are an integral part of the local food culture and accidentally also a really good place to look for plant-based dishes. So let's visit a Meyhane.
Welcome to one of Istanbul's most iconic ways of eating. There's no menu at a traditional meyhane. Instead, the food here is chosen in a slightly different way. To see what that's all about, I visited Giritli, a tranquil, much-loved meyhane with Greek influences.
Yani meyhane şöyle, restoran sektörünün en birinci basamağı diyebiliriz. İstanbul malum liman şehri, gemiler var ve limanlarda bir takım içki evleri açılmıştı. Bu içki evlerinde içeceklerin yanına ufak tefek yiyecekler verilmeye başlandı. Bu zaman içinde burada yaşayan çeşitli uluslarından dolayı son gazla devam ediyor bu ilgi.
To show me what the food at a traditional meyhane is like, Ayse invited me into her kitchen. First up is a salad made with black cabbage. After blanching the leaves until wilted, she chops them up and seasons them with salt, sugar, olive oil and vinegar. Add to that cooked wheat, spring onions, dill, mint, red peppers and another dash of olive oil and vinegar, and your first meyhane dish is ready to go.
Olay bu kadar.
And we already have our first meze done. I'm really excited, let's try it.
It's okay.
Is it okay? You're kidding? That is magic. Oh, this is the kind of food, this is...
Very basic.
You say basic, but this is
Yes.
wonderful home cooking. This is so delicious. You got a little bit of the wheat, so it gives a little bit of texture, but then the cabbage with all these herbs makes it very, very fresh and wonderful.
But of course, there's more. At Giritli, Ayse serves cooked and mashed fava beans that are topped with olive oil, capers and onions. And there are blanched green beans that are dressed with crushed tomatoes and, you guessed it, a good glug of olive oil.
So this is a really traditional part of a meyhane. So at the beginning of your meal, they bring out a tray and you can make your selection. And then they take that back into the kitchen and they bring out the dishes that you selected. Not all of these dishes are vegan because this is a traditional meyhane, but a lot of them actually are naturally vegan.
From here you can choose dishes like the green beans with tomatoes, a black-eyed bean salad, the pureed fava beans, the black cabbage salad and cooked potatoes in an aromatic sauce, all of which are then brought fresh from the kitchen.
Okay, the meze arrived, but traditionally this is served with rake.
Rakı.
Rake, so the Turkish national drink, okay.
45 alcohol, little bit water.
Check out what happens to the color. Turns white. And this is a drink made from grapes,
Yes.
flavored with anise
one ice
to cool it down.
Little bit meze and then rakı.
A little bit rake. Teşekkürler.
Afiyet olsun.
So here we go. This is a traditional meyhane lunch or also dinner. And what's important to keep in mind is this is the meze. This is the beginning of the meal. Obviously, on a plant-based diet, the main courses are not that suitable. But what's really interesting is that when you come here, you can choose from all these different plant-based dishes to start with. And actually, if you choose enough of them, you have a really nice spread on the table. It's a really fun culture to dip into. So let's start. We tasted the black cabbage. Let's try the fava beans next. Oh yeah, so rich. And then you get this little raw onion and caper, loads of olive oil. That's very well cooked fava beans and then pureed into this really smooth consistency. Wow. And then we've got this bean salad here with apricots and pomegranate seeds, so quite fruity. Here we go. They're so simple, the herbs, and then here the pomegranate seeds. This little nice fresh tangy kick of fruitiness together with the apricots. Also wonderful. What a start. And now the green beans with tomatoes. So green beans cooked in a really nice simple tomato sauce and then served with this nice puddle of olive oil that mixes with the tomatoes. I fork for that, but then a spoon for that olive oil and tomato. That is so tasty. Ripe tomatoes, olive oil, salt, a little bit of vinegar. Makes the most wonderful sauce, wow. And then we've got our potato salad. Here we go. Oh man, I think the sauce around there, actually just the starches of the potatoes sort of thickening together with a little bit of olive oil and vinegar. And then you get these dried herbs and spring onions. So a nice little fresh kick. Oh yeah, I never had a potato salad like that. And then it's traditionally, of course, accompanied by rake. Cheers to a really good lunch. Oh yeah, that is a serious drink. I don't want to offend anyone, but it's very similar to ouzo from what I know, because it's also flavored with anise, but it fits really well. When you're sitting here, this is such a wonderful place. And you might wonder, why are we in a place in Istanbul that actually has a lot of inspiration from Greece? But Ayşe said in her own words that she cooks Turkish food with a Greek mind. And that is actually a really beautiful way of putting it, because quite often we're quick to claim that food comes from one country only, and the dishes that they serve here, you actually find across many meyhane, in different ways, but quite similar. And often they are just influences from the Ottoman Empire, not only from Istanbul, but from all the different regions that are touched. So it's a really fun, edible insight into Turkish or Istanbul food culture. I'm gonna continue tucking in now, so I'm gonna load up my plate. But yeah, this is what meyhane are. Loads of different meze to start with, a little bit of rake. What a wonderful way of eating. When you're in Turkey, you of course have to drink Türk Kahvesi, Turkish coffee. I'm now at Manda Batmaz, and I heard they might be able to sort us out.
Say hello to the world-famous Turkish coffee. Rich, thick and deeply aromatic, Türk Kahvesi is a drink steeped in tradition and has been brewed the same way for over 500 years. The local community hotspot Manda Batmaz is a favorite amongst locals and the place where I'll learn how Turkey's most popular morning drink is made. It all starts with finely ground coffee that is added to a traditional kopar çesve. Top it up with hot water, give it a stir, and it's time to hit the stove. Once the coffee starts to boil like this, the thick brew is ready to be poured into the cup.
And here we've got our cup of Türk Kahvesi, Turkish coffee. Let's give that a go. Okay, you know what? When I saw those coffee grounds go into the cup, into that little copper pan, onto the stove, you see that angry froth build up and then pour it into the cup, you expect a really, really punchy coffee. This is just really nice to drink. It's a strong coffee, but it's not as strong as I expected it to be. This is really enjoyable. And I'm gonna keep going, but I have a really good feeling that there's some coffee grounds waiting at the bottom of the cup. So let's find out. And I just had a good drink of those. As you keep drinking, the coffee grounds settle to the bottom of the cup, so you actually have to leave the coffee for a little bit, and then you only drink the top bit, and you leave the coffee grounds in the bottom. When you walk through Istanbul, you see loads of pickle shops offering every kind of pickle you can imagine. They're called Turşu, and I'm now at Asri Turşucu to try some. Let's go.
Whether it's tomatoes, baby melons, garlic or even green beans, if you can name it, you'll probably find it here. Turşu are lacto-fermented pickles, aka vegetables that have been preserved by the absence of oxygen and the presence of water, salt and thyme. The result is a probiotic snack and drink that Turks swear by, either as a healthy food or as a hangover cure.
I don't really know how it works, but I think we're gonna order some pickles and try them.
The process is simple. Make your selection of pickles and watch as they are cut up, added to a cup and topped with the fermented pickling juices.
And then we've got our cup of pickles. This is bonkers. I'm gonna go straight in with garlic. That is crazy. The whole garlic bulb is in there pickled. He then peels it, adds it to the cup. So let's try raw pickled garlic. Crunchy. It is raw. Whoa. Okay. It's actually, the garlic is not that intense. By pickling it, you're taking away that harshness of the garlic. But what is intense is that pickling juice. It's spicy, it's tangy, and then together with that raw garlic flavor, it's really nice. It's quite the experience. Let's go in with beetroot. The beetroot is soft. Again, really nice. You get that spiciness from the pickling juice. Oh yeah, green tomato. Pickled green tomato. Also quite firm, that one. Oh, and cabbage. A classic. I have to say, it's not for the faint-hearted. Try some of the juice. Oh man, what an experience, because he adds all of the chopped veg in there and then he asks you if you want it spicy or not spicy. I went for half-half. So he has the pickling juice, he has half of that not spice, half of that is spicy. He made a mix and this is already packing a little bit of a punch. It's a bit of heat there. And the more you eat, the spicier it gets actually. So he only uses water and rock salt. I've seen the rock salt over there, and after using only water and rock salt, he leaves it to ferment, and that's how you get that tangy pickling juice. It's really delicious. The only thing in here that was soft was the beetroot, and all the other ones have a really nice bite. Get a cup of that at the beginning of the day, and you've definitely done something good for your gut, and we'll sort you out right away. Over the last decades, Turkey has seen an increase in Syrian immigrants, and with them they brought their food traditions. Now you'll find Turkish hummus all over the country, but today we're exploring how foreign influences are shaping the local food culture. So let's try Syrian hummus.
Fava beans cooked in giant copper pans, chickpeas piled into steaming pyramids, and falafel sizzling in hot oil. This is the place to be for an insight into Syrian food culture in the bustling city of Istanbul. Here at Buzecede, hummus is not the only popular item on the menu. There's fool, falafel and a warm chickpea salad, all prepared according to Syrian tradition and usually eaten for breakfast.
نحن حاليا بمطعم بوز الجدي. طبعا بوز الجدي بيقدم الأصناف دمشقية التقليدية للفطور الشامي اللي هي الفتة، اللي هي الفول بزيت، الحمص بزيت. نال كتير قبول عند الأتراك.
First up is what most of us know as hummus, but here it's called musabaha. The smooth chickpea and tahini mixture is spread out on a plate at lightning speed before it's topped with parsley, warm chickpeas, paprika and plenty of olive oil. Then there's fool. First, a ladle of fava beans emerges from the enormous copper pot before they too are topped with warm chickpeas, tomatoes, parsley, a mixture of lemon juice and garlic, plenty of olive oil and some paprika. Finally, there's warm chickpeas topped with tomatoes, parsley, the lemon juice and garlic mixture, olive oil and paprika. A dish that is known as hummus here since hummus translates to chickpeas.
What a breakfast spread. Let's tuck into the busepaha first. So I'll take a little piece of bread, no cutlery needed for this one, and then we'll mop up some of that spread. There we go, let's try that. That is so creamy. And that olive oil packs a lot of flavor. And they're not messing around with the amount. But that together with those soft warm chickpeas, creamiest hummus, that is wonderful. This is a dish that is meant to be eaten with bread. That's my favorite comfort food. It's a bit messy, I love it. And you just keep going. Over here you've got a plate of pickles. So in between bites, a little refresher. Oh yeah, that is a strong pickle. Okay, and the next one, we're trying the fool. So that looks like a serious flavor bomb. He took a big spoon of that lemon and garlic and drizzled it all over. So that must be packed with flavor. So this one you traditionally mix too. So I'm gonna take a spoon and mix it really well to combine all of those flavors. And then again, the vessel of choice here, tear up some bread. We're gonna use our fingers to mop up as much as we can, which is a serious mission, but here we go. Oh, I can smell the garlic. The lemon juice and garlic hit. That's the first one you get. But then you get these warm, perfectly cooked fava beans, which have almost like an olive-like flavor. They're quite intense in flavor. They're strong. That is sensational. And on to the last one. This is what's called hummus, right? So again, it all begins with bread. And then I was just told that you use 3 fingers and we're mopping up some of those wonderful flavors here. Okay, I still have to learn the proper way of mopping these up, but that is a serious bite. Very similar to the fava beans, but the fava beans are very strong in flavor. So this is a bit milder in total. You just get really nice, comforting, soft chickpeas, all served in this incredible sauce of olive oil, garlic, lemon. That sauce literally is so delicious. I don't think this is traditional, but that's what you want to do. You want to get that beautiful liquid here. Oh, wow. So you want to dip in again your bread, mop up those tomatoes, chickpeas, look at that. And it's just so much fun because every time you can take a different bite of the hummus, of the fava beans, of the chickpeas. And then you can always chase it with a little pellet cleanser. That was beautiful. So this place is Syrian through and through. You have a chef in the kitchen that speaks Arabic, and we've tasted Syrian dishes here. So you might wonder, why is this part of an episode in Turkey, in Istanbul? But just like with the Greek food in the Meyhane, this is a reminder that food borders are actually fluid. It's quite easy to take claim on a certain dish and say this is how that dish is done. But this is about understanding that food has actually developed over centuries. And often it's a product of different beliefs, different traditions, and different influences coming together and forming something new. So here we are in Istanbul, but we have this background of a lot of Syrian immigrants coming to the country and bringing their food traditions with them. And it's so wonderful that you get to experience them here and that this is accepted by the locals. So 3 wonderful dishes that we tried that have become a very popular piece of the culinary fabric here of Istanbul. Wonderful. And now it's continuing. It's actually not finished just yet. We've got another plate here, and this is the falafel. And we've seen the chef over there actually scooping the falafel into that little tool and then dropping them into the hot sizzling oil. And then you get these little chickpea falafels. So made with chickpeas, there's coriander in there, there's spices in there, they're piping hot. Let's break one open. Look at that, there's a lot of steam coming out. So I'm gonna burn myself, but I think it's gonna be worth it. I'll give it a go. So falafel literally cooked a minute ago. Oh, a lot of spice in there. Not hot, but very well spiced. I got a lot of coriander. I think I can even see a coriander seed over there. That's delicious. Crispy falafel. And of course, there's an opportunity here to bring back our hummus plate and then take a very nice scoop of that falafel and hummus. Chickpeas meet chickpeas, a match made in heaven. They're so wonderful. And then when you take a good bite of hummus, I actually love chasing it with a pickled chili. That fresh pick, that is proper. So good. That was the end of my visit to Istanbul, but I'm off to Izmir next to try some traditional food from around the Aegean coast. Gözleme, Turkey's famous sesame bread, donut-like sweets, and traditional olive oil dishes. There's a lot to explore. If you like this video, hit thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.